David here, and the project for today is working on the Smith & Wesson Shield. This is Wesson Shield, and check out this trigger pull. Well, first let's safety check it. Got a 4.5 pound trigger. Who wouldn't like a 4.5 pound trigger in their shield? What I did was I went to the web and I found a website on how to recontour the sear to get a lighter trigger on the shield. Then I function tested it and I found out that it was not dependable. Whatever I did was not proper. I had about 3 light primer strikes, and I had about 2 incidences where there was no trigger. Trigger was dead, so this is not reliable in a self-defense condition. And when I did the work, I thought, well, if I mess it up, I'll just buy the part from Smith & Wesson. How much can it cost? Well, I went online and I found out Smith & Wesson doesn't sell replacement parts for the shield. Sure, you could buy a magazine, but as far as ignition parts, you can't get them. I learned how to take the sear block out from Apex Tactical YouTube website. So if you go on the web and go to Apex Tactical, you can learn how to do it. I'm not going to show how to do it because everyone in YouTube is afraid YouTube's going to discontinue their channel for doing how-to videos. But it's just a matter of field stripping it, knocking out this roll pin from this side, and then the sear housing block is in the rear end of the frame, and you have to use a roll pin punch. Kind of look like that. Got a little nib on the end so that it catches in the roll pin. You don't want to use a regular punch because a roll pin has a hole in it, and if you get the punch stuck inside the hole, it will expand it, and it could get stuck in the hole even harder, and it could even crack the frame. So you got to be careful when you're doing that. So I did find a replacement sear. I went to eBay. I found this on eBay. So what I did was I stoned that end. Can you see it? I stoned it to make it a little flatter. No, that's the wrong end. I'm sorry. There you go. Come on, roll over for me. Why don't I just take it out and show you? So afraid I'm going to lose this tiny thing. Got it? Too close? I stoned that edge. Made it flat. And then on this end, I took a stone and kind of did a flat at about a 45-degree angle on that little part that sticks up here. There you go. See that part sticking up? Right. Right along there. I do not recommend doing that. If you want a better trigger on your shield, I recommend that you go to Apex and buy the Apex, get the Apex sear. They have other parts as well. They have springs, and I think they have triggers. I would just go that route. Either that or just stick with the stock ignition parts, and that's what I'm going to do. This is something I carry. I just can't take any chance on not having anything reliable. Here's the sear block. Sear goes right in there. That's a sear that I messed up. Don't try this at home. There's a sear block with the sear in place. It's got a pin. That one pin holds it in. It only goes out one way because one side is bigger than the other. I did polish up some of these ignition parts, the end of the striker and the striker safety. Getting that striker safety out was a pain because you got to remove the rear sight. And I ruined the brass drift getting this rear sight out. It was horrible. Okay, I'm going to put this back in the frame and then I'll check the trigger pull again. Okay, I got everything back together again. Let's check the trigger pull. £7. £6.5. Hair over 6.5 pounds. That's good enough for me. Do some function testing now. Working much better. Thanks for watching, everybody.
You critics don't define our honor. You try to shame us for doing our job. You teach children to fear us, crowds to attack us, and good people to doubt us. But we will never back down from our sworn duty to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. We wake up every day, put on our badge, strap a gun to our hips, kiss our families goodbye, and put our lives between the law-abiding and any criminal who threatens their rights. We serve people of every color and creed, men, women, and children in violent, dangerous neighborhoods, because they have the same right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as CEOs, movie stars, and the political elite. We are Americans, and we are the American police officer. We stand with the National Rifle Association of America, and the NRA stands with us. Together, we're freedom's safest place.